Dear students, today we shall demonstrate cerebellum. Can you see? This is the cerebellum which I am holding. Now, cerebellum has got like cerebral hemisphere, two hemisphere. These are two hemisphere, lateral and two lateral hemisphere. They are joined by this structure. It is called vermis. It is worm-like. That is called vermis. This cerebellum anteriorly it is related with the brainstem structure, and so there is a, here you see this is the brainstem structure. So anteriorly there is a notch that is called shallow notch that accommodates this brainstem structure. Posteriorly also there is a fissure. This fissure, actually deep fissure, it accommodates the falx cerebelli. Now, how will you identify superior surface and inferior surface? On the superior surface, here you will see the vermis and the hemisphere. There is no such demarcation line. But on the inferior surface, here you see between vermis and cerebral hemisphere, there is a deep depression or notch that is called vallecula. So at the depth of the vallecula you will find the vermis. Now, so you knew the vallecula and vermis, superior surface, inferior surface, lobe. Now let us see each cerebral hemisphere is divided into lobes, and each lobe again is subdivided into many lobules. Now here you see there are so many horizontal fissure here. Between the horizontal fissure, the structure is called folium. So out of these many horizontal fissure which are prominent, they are called primary fissure, horizontal fissure and posterolateral fissure. There are three prominent fissure. Now this is the primary fissure. This primary fissure cuts the vermis into anterior to the posterior 1/3, and the part which lies anterior to the primary fissure, fissura prima, it is called anterior lobe. Now this is the horizontal fissure. Horizontal fissure actually divides the cerebral hemisphere into superior and inferior part. It does not demarcate any lobe, just superior and inferior it divides. Now another fissure, that is the posterolateral fissure. Here you see on the inferior surface, here you see there is a fissure. This fissure is called posterolateral fissure. This fissure, behind this fissure lies the flocculonodular lobe. This small lobe is the flocculonodular lobe, and from here to primary fissure, this primary fissure, the whole part is known as posterior lobe, or you can also call it middle lobe. So these are the three lobes. Now let us divide this is the vermis into several parts. Most anteriorly lies the lingula. This is the lingula. It is called lingula. Then lingula, then culmen, lingula, then central lobule, then culmen, then declive, then folium, then tuber, then pyramid, then uvula, and lastly nodule. Now it is very difficult to identify. Some are most prominent. You can identify that. Here you see this part inferiorly. You see this part is called tonsil, and tonsil is continuous with the uvula. The tonsil is continuous with that portion of the vermis that is called uvula, and flocculonodular is very thin structure. Here you see, this is the flocculonodular lobe. This is a posterolateral fissure. So these are the structures of the vermis and their lateral continuation. Now let us see the lateral continuation of the vermis. Now here you see the central lingual vacuole has got no lateral continuation. Then central lobule is connected with that part of the lobule that is called ala, and culmen is continuous with the quadrangular lobule. Declive is continuous with the simple lobular simplex. Then come to the folium. Folium is continuous with the superior semilunar lobule, inferior semilunar lobule. Here you can identify by this horizontal fissure, because above the horizontal fissure lies the superior semilunar lobule and below inferior semilunar lobule, and this horizontal fissure actually passes between the folium and tuber. So above it is the folium and below it is the tuber. Now after tuber you will get pyramid. After tuber you will get this is the pyramid, and then you will get uvula. This is called uvula, and you can identify uvula because it is continuous with the tonsil. So in this way you can recognize the lateral extension of the vermis. So these are about the anatomical subdivision. Now let us see the morphological subdivision. Morphologically, the cerebellum consists of three parts: archicerebellum, the most old cerebellum, then paleocerebellum, it is then neocerebellum. Now archicerebellum consists of lingula. Here you will get superior surface lingula, and on the inferior surface flocculonodular lobe. So this is the flocculonodular lobe. These two parts forms the archicerebellum. Paleocerebellum consists of anterior lobe, structures of the anterior lobe, plus tuber and pyramid of the inferior surface. They form the paleocerebellum, and neocerebellum consists of most of the posterior surface or middle surface, posterior lobe or middle lobe, except pyramid and tuber. So these are the neocerebellum. Now you know archicerebellum is found in fishes and early amphibians, and paleocerebellum is found in amphibians and terrestrial vertebrates, and neocerebellum is found in the primates. They are also called archicerebellum, also known as vestibular cerebellum, and paleocerebellum is known as spinal cerebellum, and neocerebellum is also known as cerebral cerebellum. Now, so these are about the morphological subdivision. So that's all about the cerebellum. Rest of the cerebellum, that is its connection, nucleus, etc. You will learn it in your lecture class. But so far demonstration is concerned, that's enough.